To the stage, founding executive Dr. David Hill.
But if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing changed at all? And if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like everything?
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You've inspired me. You've inspired me. I'm going to totally change. That's it for me, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What a privilege it is for me to be here with you today. I have, of course, a lot of information I want to share with you. I've been thinking a lot about doTERRA. I've been thinking a lot about what our name means. Now, if you're like me, boy, you guys have already made me emotional. That is not fair. If you're like me, when you hear the name doTERRA, I'm hoping that it conjures up, as it does for us, deep emotional and impactful feelings. We draw upon all the resources that we've had in our experiences in doTERRA. I know for me and my partners, I wouldn't be misaligned to say that we have deep appreciation for all the things that we've accomplished so very well in doTERRA. The movement of essential oils into the mainstream and the widespread acceptance, all the discovery of essential oils, the research, the science, and the expansion of knowledge have all led us to be recognizable as the world's leader in essential oils. Perhaps the thing, however, that is most meaningful for us as we think about the name doTERRA and what it stands for is a decision that we made a long, long time ago. We decided that instead of following more traditional paths of advertising and marketing, that we would instead invest in you. Investing in your strength, in your talents, in your energy, in your experience, in your ability to educate and to share. Now, I know that there are those who are highly critical of the role that you play, not only in doTERRA, but around the world. And so I give a direct and impunable response to those individuals. You do not understand the purposes of essential oils. You do not know the value of experience and the culture of sharing that comes from doTERRA. I believe that people subconsciously are very discerning, and in fact, they know exactly how much you care, as evidenced by all the good works that you do. Collectively, I would say that the name doTERRA is perhaps most well known as a place of refuge, a place of peace, a place of healing in what otherwise is a very troubled and chaotic world. So we thank you for the role that you play and tell you that without you, doTERRA would not be who we are today. Thank you. Now, I also know and understand that when we think about what we have in terms of our logo and who we are as a company, and the great expanse of all the things that we've discovered and that we've done over time, and perhaps some of these things have great personal relevance for you, and you find value, and you find meaning, and you find great purpose. In an overall sense, we could say that that's what drives us in doTERRA. We've been able to individualize our experience in doTERRA and to grow outside of ourselves in a way that perhaps we never thought capable. However, I also recognize that there are many who are challenging to that experience that we have in doTERRA. For example, a very common thing to be said right now is, regardless of what we say, regardless of what we do in doTERRA, there seems to always be somebody who says, yeah, we're just like doTERRA. We do that too. There's a few things that we can observe from that statement. It is annoying. Would you agree with me? It's very annoying. It's annoying when you go to the internet and you see companies using your name. It's annoying when you go to the internet and people using my name to endorse them. Those things are not acceptable. When we think about this type of an experience, what I most want to tell you is, don't let it bother you. But there's a key observation that I think we can take from this. Firstly, they know who we are. They know of our quality. They know of our capabilities. They know of the influence that we have as a company around the world, and consequently, we also know of their influence, and we know of their capabilities, and we know of their quality. Now, if I were being mean, I would say, or lack of quality, but I'm not going to go there yet. We're not going to be there. We know of them as well. Now, this leads us to some very specific conclusions. The value of doTERRA is not determined by what other people think. Our strength as a company instead cycles around our individual knowledge, our individual ability to know who we are, and just as importantly, to know who we are not. Now let's talk about who we are not in doTERRA. I'm going to speak very boldly and very frankly as I talk about the essential oil industry. Now, the essential oil industry, as we think about it as a whole, it seems like we all kind of get lumped in together. We fit into the same profile. And nothing could be further from the truth. The essential oils have a great historical value. We know anciently of their uses for health and for wellness. But in modern times, the development of the essential oil industry was developed to accomplish the needs of three very specific industrialized applications. And you're familiar with them: the flavor industry, the fragrance industry, and of course the cosmetic industry. What's interesting and what most people don't readily recognize, and Corey alluded to this a little bit yesterday, is that largely the nearly singular source of essential oils in the modern world today was developed in conjunction with those needs specifically in a commercial application. Not only are they completely devoid of any opportunity for health and for wellness, they don't contain any of those attributes. We also know that they're largely synthetic and nearly 100% adulterated as they meet the demands of that industry. What's not so readily understood is because the sourcing of essential oils is largely singular throughout the world to meet the demands of that industry, that means that sellers of essential oils today are sourcing their oils there. And that leads to a few conclusions that we can draw. Maybe when somebody says, just like doTERRA, it's not as sinister as what we think. First, it's a commonly held belief in the essential oil industry that all oils, they are all sourcing from the same place through the exact same channels. Secondarily, there's this showing that says the oils represent the same quality. All oils represent the same quality with little variation. And so when somebody says, hey, we're just like doTERRA, we do that too. To quote a good friend of mine, it's like saying a bowl of Fruit Loops is the same as a bowl of fruit. It's okay, James. I know you like Fruit Loops. It's all right. I know who we are in doTERRA. The message I'm trying to give you is, do you know? Let me speak very clearly. doTERRA does not belong to the commercialized essential oil industry. This doorway that we've talked about, we walked through a long time ago. And in fact, the very first discussion we had when we came together talking about doTERRA and what would become who we are today, the discussion was not about the economics of doTERRA. It wasn't about our business modeling. It was instead about our sourcing channels. We knew and we recognized that unless we could source essential oils differently than how they have been sourced before, that we would be exactly the same as everybody else. This is why co-impact sourcing. Now I know that we tell lots of stories in co-impact sourcing. Yesterday we shared a lot of heartwarming information with you. And those are real experiences, and they're every much a part of what our goals and objectives are. And I, like you, am just as excited as anyone else that over the coming years we will more than triple our impact in the lives that we're helping and the economies and social environments that we're changing around the world. Thank you. I hope you're excited about that. Now for the other side of the coin. Co-impact sourcing is not about stories. While that's a part and that's a feature of what we do, it's not why co-impact sourcing helps to define who we are as a company. Co-impact sourcing is a story of quality. Co-impact sourcing is a story of purity. Co-impact sourcing is a story of efficacy. Co-impact sourcing is a story of consistency. Co-impact sourcing is a story of safety. doTERRA, instead of stepping into a commercialized channel like everyone had done before and that everyone continues to do since, instead, we said we must develop our own sourcing channel that lies outside of everything that everyone else is doing, that we can 100% control, where we can have all of the attributes of health and wellness and have clean, pure, and strong effect. That's what co-impact sourcing is for us. Our consistency, our integrity in that process is your mark of confidence in doTERRA. It is the one thing that helps us to be able to do what no one else has ever been able to do before. Hey, I've got my family here today, and I'm grateful that they're here. I got my grandkids, I got my kids. And my youngest son is right here towards the end, and he's waving at me, and I have totally forgotten, son, I'm sorry, I'll make that announcement now. He's single and he's available. You asked for it, son, I'm sorry. I'm also happy to announce that this is the last time my family will ever come hear me speak. You know, I have a lot of people who reach out to me and they share a lot of different information. I receive texts all the time from people wanting to know and to understand what's happening with the essential oils. Recently, I received a text from somebody I know, and they said, Dave, I decided to follow your advice and get some frankincense. I found an essential oil company on Amazon that had great reviews. I said, Friends don't let friends buy oils on Amazon. On the label, it said not for internal use. What does that mean? It means get your money back. I'll send you what I actually recommended. When I have experiences like this, if you could hear what's playing in my mind, it's my favorite Taylor Swift song.
And I thought that it would kill me, but it didn't. And it was so nice. It isn't love, it isn't hate, it's just indifference.
The other day, somebody came to my office and they said, I'm a little bit frustrated because I received an ad on my Instagram. And it said, just like doTERRA, at 1/3 the cost. If you knew what was going on in my mind, yeah, because it's only worth 1/3 of what ours oils are. I just go back to Taylor Swift.
And I thought that it would kill me, but it didn't. And it was so nice. It isn't love, it isn't hate, it's just
indifference. It's not love. It's not hate. It's just indifference. There's so much that we have to be proud of in doTERRA. I recognized something a long time ago that we all have personal experience that is indelibly etched in our minds. It's powerful for us until one point where we decide to let others tell us what that experience means. And then they fade, they become unfamiliar, and they no longer have meaning for us. I like what Simon Sinek says. He said, we achieve more when we chase the dream rather than the competition. Now I have one more final thought for you in this regard, and then we're going to shift gears just a little bit quickly. Not everybody is going to be right for doTERRA. Sometimes people have their own experiences. They have their own plans. They find value with where they stand. And it seems to me like we spend an inordinate amount of time trying to convince them that they have to think like we do. We need to be careful that we don't delude ourselves to somehow become right for them. There are millions of people who are yet and waiting to discover essential oils, who need the experience that you have. Yesterday, Corey alluded to, as he was speaking to many of the things that we do in doTERRA, he said, these aren't things that we do. This is who we are. My name is Dr. Hill. And I, like you, am doTERRA. And I, like you, will stand. Stand knowing and understanding the value that we really have. It doesn't matter to me what other people say. My own experience drives me to believe that what I know to be true is actually correct. As we watch you and your experiences unfold, as you go about the good work of sharing the essential oils with countless numbers of people whose lives change and are forever impacted, tells me that I stand immovable, impenetrable. Let us focus on our future. Let us not be bewildered nor concerned by what other people say. Our strength, our value lies within ourselves and what we know. Ours is a great opportunity. May we seize it and do all that we can to help others come to know the same value that we do. doTERRA is a forever company. What a great privilege that is. Thank you for letting me be with you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We love you.